Right, so we now come to session 5 in the Rolfing series, and we're starting the project of aligning the front with the back, and session 5 is the front element of that pair. So basically we're working up the front of the body. Key points that we do in session 5 are the front of the foot. Again, the foot gets a little bit of work here. We would have done some of this in session 2, but revisiting places in key places in Rolfing is a good thing usually, because we're progressively releasing available layers. At first the layers are superficial, but as you go deeper into the series you are able to get more deeply without it being too uncomfortable for the client. So I would work on the retinaculum at the front of the foot here. This is very important for the front of the body, but also in how the talus bone here is sitting in the leg. So after the retinaculum, you can do work around the knee here. Quads work is really important. It can be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's always worth remembering that I do work with breathing and respect the tolerance levels of clients. It isn't just a case of just wading in to a set level. It's very important that the client is not too uncomfortable. But inevitably, if you're releasing traumas in the body and old injuries and stuck tissue which has been there a long time, to release that, of necessity, it's going to be a little bit intense at times. But that is a negotiated level. So if you're thinking of doing Rolfing, you can relax on that score. It isn't just an exercise in screaming and wanting to run out of the room. So working on the quads is a really important part of the structural integration that you get from Rolfing, because it's a very big muscle group and usually needs balancing how it wraps and the tension levels there. If you could raise your knee, Mateus. I do obviously do psoas work. That's really important. Very delicate area. Obviously I'm very careful. But some of the work has been done by working on the adductors. Remember that chain of muscles that goes up through here? If you release this, it usually makes this easier to release, so you don't have to do so much work in there. And I would often work with the client moving the leg down and then coming slowly up. This kind of calling for client movement is, are you okay, Mateus? Is the way we release this. And we're balancing side to side here. And then obviously diaphragm work, it can be really powerful in here. If people are tight here and you work on it, you get a complete change in the front of the abdomen as the rib cage is able to lift off and you get better breathing. And also up here, this is the first work that really starts to affect the shoulder girdle. And I don't do much here, but it does really start to open things up. Working with this, take a breath to the top, Mateus. Breathing all the way to the top, and then breathing out and relaxing. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. This can be very powerful. And usually at the end of session 5, you see people with a very long front and a very short back, which is why session 6 is very important to balance that. So that's session 5.